we're set now, dog.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, man. I'm excited.
Oh man. So, yeah, dude. This is I almost feel like just jumping in because we're recording now.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
as I
Absolutely.
so welcome to Grappling with Wrestling, everybody. And so Jacob, I'm going to catch you up on some ideas I have.
That's good.
I'm going to reintroduce you to our vast audience on our new YouTube channel I'm fixing to talk about. I want to kind of give them a dynamic on our buddy Jimmy Fulp because
Yes.
now that we're on Zoom, he'll be around too, maybe
Yes,
solo,
sir.
and then there's times where it's you two together, a three-way, if you will, a triple threat.
Triple threat.
And then I have a list of some current stuff I want to talk about.
Mm.
Man, I see you're wearing the Punk shirt.
I
I've been thinking about you a lot because I just feel like CM Punk is on the ride of his life here. His career is just fascinating to watch, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay,
For sure.
and your backdrop is amazing. For the people on Apple
Indeed.
and Spotify, as you're looking at the screen to the left, over your right shoulder is the current world heavyweight world championship belt.
Indeed.
The new big gold guy, yes, which
Uh-huh.
I do like. And then, man, I know you did this on purpose to pull my heartstrings, sir, because on the other side of that background, you have the classic, like the only WWE championship belt that really resonates with me. And that's
Most beautiful belt ever.
mid to late 80s through Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold was the last one, which actually,
Yep.
I don't know if you can see him. I have
Yeah.
him right there. Yeah.
So it started with Hulk, ended with Stone Cold. So,
Mhm.
and many in between.
What a
So-
legacy, right?
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
for
my-
sure.
And I have mentioned this in the past. Again, I'm trying to treat this like it's a brand new thing because it is. We're on a brand new YouTube channel, Jacob. When you came to the studio with Jimmy and we recorded that content, it went on my personal channel, which is the same channel as the Rhythm section.
Hmm.
And it really isn't good for the channel to throw another just foreign show on it. So
For sure.
now that I'm moving this to Zoom, and I seriously want to take this to the next level and ramp it back up, and then get people like Andy McCullough in, and then he want to be connected with all the independent guys around here.
Right. Yeah.
So now's the time to just start a fresh channel. So
Indeed.
there's
Indeed.
a chance that this video is on that channel with 0 subscribers, but we appreciate you anyway, right?
Indeed. We love that you're here.
And to those that followed us on Apple and Spotify and shocked to hear from us again, thanks for hanging in there. If you're back. So, if you remember, Jacob came in with Jimmy, and we talked about all kinds of fun things. The dynamic with you is you're the only person that I know or have a good friendship with that follows current as much as I do.
Mm.
Our buddy Jimmy Fulp, bird's eye view.
Yes.
He keeps up, but bird's eye view.
It's usually big events. Usually when the PLEs happen, I wind up having conversations with Jimmy where it's like, he's like, dude, I had no idea that story was going there or something like that. And then, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he, same with me. But, I watch every Monday Night Raw and PLE. Haven't missed anything in a year now. Because as the story goes, the beginning of 25 is when Netflix brought in Raw on January of 25, and I'm like, now's the time.
Big.
I was like, let me jump in, let me see if I can follow and hang with modern wrestling, and the big answer to that is yep. I just got totally sucked in. SmackDown is an outlier. I gotta go to YouTube for clips and highlights for SmackDown.
Right.
And
I'm kind of in the same boat. Yeah.
And I don't watch NXT. So that's where, to the audience, that's where I am in terms of really studying the current stuff. But also you and Jimmy bring in history, so we can talk history of wrestling and the business, which is very exciting. And we all bring in different backgrounds, eras, organizations. Jimmy grew up in the old territory area of the country and followed territories in WCW. You and I'm a WWF guy. You're a WWE guy.
Yeah.
All right. So I grew up in Maine, so I had WWF from the mid '80s through the mid '90s. So I had like peak Hulk Hogan, right? And were you after the
so it's
weird. Were you Ruthless Aggression? Is that you?
I was like the tail end of the Ruthless Aggression into like the PG era. It's really weird. I really caught the bug, as we say, in this lovely line of fandom. I caught the bug probably around 2009, which is right when your peak of like Super Cena in the PG era. DX came back, and they were the duo. But also you got to think about it. Like my first WrestleMania I ever got to like watch live on pay-per-view was 26, which is Shawn Michaels' retirement, and what a big show that was. I mean, you had John Cena, Batista, you had a massive. That was back when Money in the Bank ladder matches were the first match, and everybody was like, "Yeah."
But like one of the two iconic Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So you came in when things were popping a little bit. You came in on a good WrestleMania for sure. Now, Attitude Era, your era, all the NWO stuff. I was not in. I was out. I was not paying attention. Of course, you hear of Stone Cold, you hear of The Rock, but through all these years, just huge into documentaries. So I have, over the last 10 years, 13 years of just digging in on any doc I could find. I really feel like I do know a lot about y'all's eras and stuff too now. So when the three of us get together, we can talk all kinds of history and great. All right.
It would be so fun. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So there's a little backstory, everybody. Now let's get to business. I'm going to spitfire my bullet points. I want you to spitfire yours, and then
absolutely
we'll start somewhere. Punk, Penta, Danhausen. Got to talk Danhausen, and
I love that.
Finn Bálor. Those are my current.
Those are good ones, man.
Yes,
I love that. Yeah.
And what do you have, sir? What are you bringing in? What do you want?
Well, man, mine is just mainly just like questions as far as like, because you're just getting back into it. Like, I don't think we've ever like publicly talked about like, who's your favorites. Also, on top of that, being somebody from the golden era where everybody's these giants. What is it like now, where all the big men are almost like, anomalies now in a small man era. On top of that, it's weird for me because kayfabe, I think everybody has definitively said is dead. But what is it like now? Because kayfabe is dead, but the backstage kind of like behind the scenes stuff feels like it's more alive than ever, which makes all of this feel a lot more real and makes those real storylines feel so much more poignant, so much more,
Dude,
important.
I'm going to have an interesting take on that.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have an interesting take on all of this. Don't get me wrong.
I love that.
Yeah. And when it comes to kayfabe, this is a big part of my new fandom. I'm a Fanhausen. Okay.
Oh, you're a Fanhausen?
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. Anything else on your notepad that you?
No, that's the main ones, man.
Okay.
And I think those will be conversations that'll,
love it. Hopefully,
we'll go way out there.
Hopefully, we get to them all. I think it's fun.
Sure.
I think podcasting, as a listener, can be fun when you just hear your host naturally just riff together. And I thought, let's have our pre-production meeting after our introduction in front of everyone.
Indeed.
All 5 subscribers, Jacob.
Yeah. You guys are loyal, and we appreciate you.
So, yes. All right, dude. This is exciting. You and I have been trying to book this for a hot minute, and we've had to go back and forth a little bit. But here we are. Rock, paper, scissors to see who picks first. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors.
Shoot. I did scissors too.
You did scissors? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Rock,
Paper, scissors, shoot.
Did we miss the paper again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lock.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh my God. We did scissors again.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
this
here
is
we
supposed
go.
to be easy.
I'm gonna go rock. I'm just letting you know now.
Okay.
Here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot.
paper. Okay, I'll start.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's talk Punk.
Oh,
So,
dude, yeah.
so I'll give you. I'll start, but let's start with the big guy here.
Absolutely.
Because I know you're a super fan, and as I'm coming in early 25, I'm lucky. He's back. The big storyline for him last year was main eventing WrestleMania, but it was a triple threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Roman, Seth Rollins, which set up just Shakespeare. That
Oh yeah.
the way that went down with Paul Heyman was art.
I love it. Yeah.
You
It
know,
was such a good main event.
well, now we got Punk going back to WrestleMania as the heavyweight world champion, main eventing the WrestleMania with Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying? So, man, like, it's just fascinating to see that all unfold. And of course, it took injuries, and that's wrestling. You know, things change, and then next thing you know, they're like, all right, we're going to put it on Punk, and they've made him strong. Like, he's been getting good wins without shenanigans. It's been so. How have you been feeling, sir? Because I know you're such an old school Punk fan. He is it's like his career has never been better, right? I mean,
No, well, I fully agree. Like, I think there's a lot of people, and it's weird. There's often with Punk, the big thing is you really don't know where the character begins and he ends. You know, and I think to me that as I've gotten older, especially as we've talked about, you know, with just everything being so put on, it seems like there are these really grandiose characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's really, really good and needed in wrestling. It's good to have somebody that I'm like, man, that guy's real. Like, you just know, and you buy every word that he says.
His promo game in the center of the ring is, I'm a fan. So sorry, we might sound like Punk marks. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
a little bit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But he's become one of my favorites too, because I buy in
For sure.
when he does his promos.
Yeah, and I think, man, like over the past, like, I mean, ever since that Drew feud obviously was a little bit, you know, if we're going way back to when he first came back, the Drew feud being the first one, because it was going to be Seth at Mania, which I thought would have been great because they had that great opening segment. But with Drew, it was even so much more, it almost seemed much more opportune, is it really did elevate Drew's game a lot, because at that point, Drew had been kind of washed out by the whole Bloodline thing.
So are we talking 2024 here?
This is like, yeah, about 2024, something like that.
So
And
this
that
is
Hell in a
where
Cell match,
this is where I need you. I'm completely lost.
for sure. So
You know,
basically,
pre January 6, 2025.
okay,
You know, I wasn't on it. I wasn't in it. So
for sure. No, yeah. So 2023, he comes back at Survivor Series War Games in Chicago. That's kind of like the hot button thing, right? Is that
he's home.
It's
that's his hometown. Yeah,
it's his home turf. He had just been, you know, according to dirt sheets, it could be speculated he was fired. You know, from one side it says he quit. It's one of those like Roth or Hagar things where you never know what the actual thing's going to be.
I learned about the AEW fiasco through Jim Cornette.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, the drive-through covers that so well. I love those ones. But anyway, so he returns, and immediately after he signs his contract for Raw in Cleveland, which is really important because that's actually where he quit like 10 years ago.
Gotcha.
At this point in time,
The pipe bomb.
he signs his contract. Huh?
Was it the pipe bomb episode?
No. So this was post Royal Rumble 2014. So this is like 3 years after the pipe bomb.
Okay.
He left because there's a bunch of legalities and a lot of other stuff there too.
Yeah.
But essentially,
I didn't mean to squirrel you there and change course because I mean there's so much to talk about with Punk and his first run, but
Mm.
I'm more interested in learning what 23 and 24 are about, you know, because
Yeah, for sure.
it's so much closer to where I am now.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so and I remember when he returned, and it was a very what's the word I'm looking for? Viral video
Oh, it
because
was
of, I
huge.
mean, it's
Yeah.
just such a massive pop, right?
Hmm.
Uh, so what's his first
Hmm.
feud now? I think that's where you were going. Like he
Yeah, yeah,
shows
yeah. So
up. So what's his
his
first
first feud,
program?
his first feud was supposed to be Seth, and then what ended up happening was in the Royal Rumble, he took a future shock DDT that went wrong from Drew McIntyre, and he tore his tricep.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, which is a bummer because, like, at that point, he's returned to WWE. He's about to main event night one with Rollins, is speculatively what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then that gets put on the back burner because now he's injured for like 6 months. You know what I mean? So then
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre comes out the night after Punk's making his whole, I'm gonna heal up. I'm gonna come back. I'm not going away. Right. I'm gonna be back for segments and stuff like that. He's and all these other sorts of things. McIntyre comes out and he goes, "I prayed for this to happen, and it did." And is just like, and everybody's like, what just happened? And then he attacks him,
Yeah.
Punk, who has a torn tricep, right? So classic heel tactics, all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. And then
And
that
Drew, by
winds
the
up,
way, one of my favorite heels. He's
oh
great.
my gosh,
Yeah.
he's so brilliant. Anyway, and I'll get to that, I'm sure, later. But like, then they go off. They have this kind of three-way argument between Seth and Drew and Punk
Yeah.
leading up to WrestleMania 40, where Drew and Seth are about to have their match. And Punk's now going to be on commentary for that because he's got issues with both of these guys, right? Seth obviously faces The Rock with Cody Rhodes in night one of the main event of WrestleMania. Well, he opens up night two against Drew. And Drew warned him. He said, "Look, you don't have to play the hero here, right?" He goes, "I'm going to beat you."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Drew ends up winning, getting his moment in front of an audience because he didn't get that because he won the title all the way back in COVID,
Mm-hmm.
in front of nobody. And so he got to do it in front of the audience with his wife and all that sort of stuff. And it would have been fine there if he had just left it there. But being the nasty heel that he is, he goes up to CM Punk, starts rubbing it in his face on the announce table.
Uh-huh.
Punk winds up then tripping him up on the announce table. He falls out, and Damian Priest, who's Money in the Bank winner, cashes
Uh,
in and wins the world title from Drew in like 5 minutes. So he had like a 5 minute title reign.
uh,
And then they go off. They do all these weird, dastardly tactics, all these other sorts of things. Eventually, Punk's cleared. They have his first match back at SummerSlam, where they actually call back to SummerSlam 96 or 97 with Brett and Undertaker and Shawn, and they have Seth as the special guest referee between Punk and Drew,
mm-hmm.
right? And it's funny, even like their attires were very Brett, Shawn, and Undertaker inspired, which I thought was really cool. But um, anyway, Drew wins that first one, and is really poking Punk about, basically there's this friendship bracelet that he took from Punk, which has AJ, his wife's name, and Larry,
Mm-hmm.
his dog's name on it.
Yep.
And that's super personal to him because when he's
Mm-hmm.
traveling, it's one of those things that he holds near and dear to his heart. And
I just learned of Larry this year, or
Larry the dog.
late 2025 maybe. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so that ends up happening, and they had a strap match in Berlin, which Punk wins, and then it gets paid off in this just bloodbath, this huge personal feud. They're like, there's only one way to blow this off, so they basically reincarnate from the ashes Bad Blood, the pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
and then as a, I guess, as whether it's a tribute or whatever, but basically to pay off this feud, to actually give stakes to the Hell in a Cell match again, they blow it off with a Hell in a Cell match where Punk goes over. And I
Wow.
don't, if you've never watched it, it's on YouTube. It is one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen, and it got
Oh,
five
cool.
stars that year.
Cool.
And despite
So
all of Punk's issues with Meltzer and all that stuff. So,
I missed the whole program with Punk and Drew.
ooh,
I missed all of
it's
it. I missed all of it.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then you start coming in probably around when the Seth feud starts taking off,
Yes.
and they really start picking up steam.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be honest with you. I've loved the twists and turns with that story. To see, first of all, that promo going on the Go Home show to Netflix, basically the last Raw on USA on television on cable,
Mm-hmm.
And there's like, I mean, there's so much in that promo. Like there's reference to Vince McMahon, which you can't say his name, right? But Punk literally gets in Seth's face and he just goes, "I love the place I worked. I just hated the guy in charge, and he loved you." Got really like,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
personal about it, and was just
What
dropping freaking bombs.
What's funny is I did not see that Raw. It was
Mm,
the very next one where my journey
hmm.
began. So it's just cool getting caught up on some of those things.
For
But
sure, for sure.
now here we are, through these
Hmm.
crazy injuries through the vision, I mean, it
Oh,
starts with
dude.
Seth. The Seth one is what derails everything because he's the champion, right? So,
Hmm.
um, the thing with him and Punk has been back and forth, in and out. It's one of those longer stories
Yeah, for sure.
that blankets other sub stories between
Mm,
these guys and other wrestlers, but it's always been
hmm.
ongoing. So I thought it was fitting. Well, if Seth goes down, then obviously I wasn't there for these decisions, but they clearly were like, well, let's try putting on Punk and make him
Yeah.
strong and give him. And I mean, he's over 100 days now, right?
Oh
Is he?
yeah. Oh,
You
he
know,
should be. I think so.
you
Yeah.
know. So um, it's just cool to see
Hmm.
an old legend still. He's in his
Hmm.
late 40s, right?
Oh, he's 47. Yeah, so
Yeah, so
he's up there.
he's
He and
my age.
AJ's.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
age.
yeah.
I mean,
He's right there.
I never would ever imagine what it's like to take one back bump at my healthiest.
Oh.
But I know how I feel at 48,
Hmm.
and what these
Yeah.
guys do. But anyways, good for him. I just think it's cool. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like, okay, let's do a WrestleMania prediction.
Mm,
My fandom and my wish would be Punk over Clean, right?
mm, mm.
Because if Roman is a part timer, right, and if he
Right.
wins, then are we going to go back into that void of barely seeing
Mm.
the belt on television and all that stuff?
Right.
Um,
Right.
where if he's going to be kind of going away again, we'll leave Punk behind stronger than ever because he just beat Roman Reigns clean,
Mm,
and
hmm.
just setting him up to be in the stratosphere as far as a babyface champion. So,
Right.
what are your
Hmm.
thoughts on that?
I think I can see that perspective of it. I think for me, what I feel like they're paying off, especially like last night, in watching, it almost seems to me like they're trying to kind of revive and revitalize the bloodline. Like it almost feels like they're bringing that back because with Punk bringing up the family,
Mm.
and a lot of people,
Ah, and
like,
the Usos are back together.
yeah,
They.
well, Jimmy friggin' knocked him
Hmm.
on his butt
Yeah,
last night. So it was just like
yeah,
one of those things where I'm sitting there going, oh man, are they gonna reunite the bloodline? Are they gonna make this come back? Because really, like when and it would be perfectly consistent because you look at what Roman said since he came back, right around
hmm,
Royal Rumble time, he was sitting there talking about how bad creative was and how basically he goes, I leave for a while to allow you guys to come up with something and still you can't make it happen, and
hmm.
so I'm gonna have to come back and just smash everybody again. So
Yeah.
it seems like we're coming back
Hey,
to the bloodline
well,
being back.
Sami Zayn used to be in the Bloodline, right?
He did. He
And
did.
again, I can't watch SmackDown like I do Raw, but on the highlights, I mean, you keep hearing these rumors, and I watch dirt sheet YouTube channels, if you will.
Right.
Is Sami Zayn kind of? He's got some tendencies right now, planting some seeds on him. Maybe so if he turns heel, then the Usos can turn heel. You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Well, and it's even funnier too, because even like last night, you look at it like the Usos are wearing all black, and like not that like wardrobe always says everything, but I also feel like these guys are, first of all, they're really brilliant in how they plan out these things, and I think there's intentional decisions that really do make sense to me. And you look at Jay and you look at Jimmy, and last night those looked like Jimmy and Jay from the Bloodline, where you
okay,
really are like we're decked out, in all black, and we are a unit, right?
yeah.
And even then, like I feel like
And I
you kind of had
noticed,
that.
and
Mhm,
last night because we're filming this on Tuesday the 10th, so last night was
mhm.
Raw. They didn't come through the audience. Notice
No,
that?
it was down the ramp.
It's
Yeah,
been a long time, other than Royal Rumble. Oh no, I think even the Royal Rumble. Yes.
Yeah, at the Rumble they were coming through the crowd.
Yeah, Jay Uso did. I know that because that's when Brock Lesnar was thrown over the top rope and no one was paying attention.
Unceremoniously. Yeah, everybody was.
Anyways, another story there, but okay,
sure.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they're gonna probably start milking the bloodline with Punk. Who knows? But I don't know. I just hope Punk goes over. That's what I want to see. And
I get that, and I think honestly, for me, I don't want to be wishful thinking here. It feels to me like we're working towards something bigger than that.
Well,
Like
that's usually the case. That's usually the case.
Because Rock wasn't there last year. He wasn't available for Vegas that year. And in my head, I'm sitting here going, Punk invoked the family, and the family's the only thing that keeps Rock, Roman, and all the Usos together is family. So in my head, I'm immediately sitting here going, are we making like, and this has been speculation too, that a lot of people have been saying, like, Fatu is also in a match with Drew McIntyre at Mania, but Fatu is looking like he, doesn't have a title. But even then, you sit there and you go, okay, well, if I've got Roman, the Usos, Jacob Fatu, and The Rock, I mean, that's a bloodline that is not only at the peak of their powers, but it's also a bloodline that's worth watching, and it's going to be exciting to see.
It will be exciting. That's why I love being back. I love being back in it. When it's good, it's good. And so let's change real quick, and I'll make this really fast. Is Penta?
Man,
he and I debuted together, Jacob.
Yeah, you did.
He debuted when I debuted as a new fandom, new super fan. So. I can, which oddly I could say I've followed his entire WWE career, Jacob. That's how
you have. Yeah,
and
I love it.
Classic mid card baby face, but over. He's always
so good.
I feel like the way he has his mask and face paint, the way his whole gimmick, if you will, is inviting, and you can believe in him. Often, like Dragon Lee. He's a great wrestler, but I don't buy into any kind of personality, where Penta's full of personality.
For sure.
So anyway, seeing him go through all these little, storylines, this, that, and the other, and putting people over too. There was some weeks I was like, they just made him lose again, but now it's come full circle, and the way it went down, beating Dom, I thought it was great. I'm glad they did it on TV. I thought that was a good idea. It was just exciting, and it's also great to see. The audience loved it. They popped for it. It's good to see.
Yeah,
it makes for a real moment, because I know that must have been a big deal for him. So
for sure, and I also feel like it's right place, right time. Like, it was something everybody was ready for. Everybody was like, "Yeah, I would love Penta to be IC champion." It just makes sense,
and it looks cool, and it just So. I mean, I don't mean to keep directing this for us.
Keep going, dude. Absolutely.
But part of this Penta story, is the fact that Dirty Dom was cursed by one Danhausen. So let's talk Danhausen, and this is another prime example of me being out of the loop. And chalk me up as one of the guys out here that the introduction on Elimination Chamber was my very first ever introduction to Danhausen. And wow, it didn't take long for me to just start digging through YouTube and finding his channel and watching interviews. He did a fascinating interview with Not Sam 4 years ago. It's out there. People find it with Not Sam. It's about 4 years old, and he does it in full gimmick, full voice, full character. And then Not Sam, or Sam Roberts, does a beautiful job of staying in kayfabe with him and interviewing. He interviewed Danhausen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the character. Yeah, of course.
So, and he was really great at it, and pitching and making it so Danhausen in the course of the interview tells you exactly who the character is and what it's about. And it's a masterclass of a podcast episode in wrestling when interviewing someone that's in kayfabe like that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so hooked, man. There's just something about that character. So how long have you known about Danhausen?
So Danhausen was somebody that obviously, I've got Punk's AEW figure
Uh-huh.
actually given to me by somebody whose birthday is today. That is my girlfriend Claire's Aunt Terry's. She gave me that one. But while I was watching Punk and AEW, I mean, you obviously stumble into so many different characters in the wrestling world, and like I really think we're in such a great period in time in wrestling where there's just so many like unbelievably amazing characters, and Danhausen is one of them. And I think
Had
in a
you heard of
different
him though?
way.
Did you know that he was tearing up the
No,
indies? And was
no,
he was
no,
on
not at all.
AEW? He was on AEW.
Mhm.
And then as a story, as I've learned, they ended up just for whatever reason pulling him off TV, and he just disappeared. He was still under contract. They let him stay home. They let him do the indies. But the last if I'm getting this right, the last year and a half or so, or 2 years at AEW, um, he was on contract but never did anything with them ever, and was just
Yeah, from what I've heard and from what I've gathered from a lot of interviews with people that have left there, that's pretty commonplace for a lot of people over there, or at least that's a lot more common. That if somebody's under contract, they may not just they just may not use them. Um, but I think with Danhausen, what I admire so much is that there needs to be variety in wrestling shows,
yeah.
and with Danhausen, you get obviously a great comedic act but also just somebody that can just sit there and just pull off some sort of nonsense. And it's just entertaining. You know
Oh,
what I
he
mean? Like,
his improv game is so strong. Again, let's go back to the Not Sam podcast. Like, in order
mhm,
for that to work, him and Sam had to be dance partners, like in a ring,
mhm, mhm,
and you never saw his real name was Danny Danhausen or something like that, right?
mhm, mm,
You never saw him break character in the way he was able to just handle any question given to him. And
yeah.
now, and seeing him now, he's been on Raw twice and SmackDown once.
Mhm,
And then interesting last night at Raw, because I follow some people on Facebook that stream live.
mhm.
The one that comes through my Facebook feed more than anybody is Sandy's app.
I
Uh,
love Sami Zayn. Yeah,
Sandy's
he's
app.
great.
That's my dude. Like I will stop on his reels when he's it's a
Mhm,
clip from live stream. Well, he's in
for
Canada.
sure.
He's in Canada,
Mhm,
so he gets to watch it on Netflix without commercials. It's like different. So
mhm,
Danhausen had a segment for the arena only. Call it a dark segment. It wasn't on TV.
right.
I don't know if you've seen the clip, but it's short, sweet. He gets up there. He says, "What's up, Seattle Hausen?
Yeah,
I want to thank my fan Hausens."
Danhausen's,
He's like
yeah.
very nice, very evil, and then
Yeah,
he starts throwing T-shirts out, and he's like, "If you did not get a free T-shirt, go to WWE.com or whatever." It becomes like a commercial for his shirts,
it's
and then it's
freaking funny.
done. It's done. Um, but I just think that guy is so talented. It's performance art what he's doing.
Mhm,
That is beyond just knowing how to do a good promo and being funny on TV.
right.
When you follow his YouTube channel, it's Love That Danhausen.
Mhm.
And he does vlogs at all of the signing places, all of the conventions he goes to, and it's all in character. It's great. It's
It's
fantabulous.
beautiful. Yeah, I love him.
So yeah, so one Danhausen. I'm hooked again, and I just can't wait to see him on TV again. I can't wait till they
Right.
actually put him in the ring on TV. That will come someday,
Yeah,
even if it's
well,
just
because he's been
talking. Even if it's just
well,
talking,
he's been talking about potentially doing like I don't know if it was particularly this is how he worded it, but something about like getting like a mentor, having people like come alongside him. So like to put Danhausen in a
Yeah,
tag team, a lot of people have been saying like The Miz would be really freaking cool. Like I
yeah,
think that would be great.
yeah.
Um,
He needs a
but
mentor
man,
to take him straight to the top.
that's exactly right. Straight to the top. So I mean, and the topic of this, we've talked about a couple. Like, I mean, we've got Punk, we've got Penta, we've got Danhausen. You getting right back into this as of Netflix and all that other sorts of stuff. Who is some of Derek Michaud's favorite that that are
Hmm.
maybe, I mean, could be reminiscent of the golden era, or just could be ones that you're just like, I really, really am digging these guys right now. Or like, are
Sure.
those three, or do you have any more?
Yeah, I do have more. And then I
Mhm.
also have some that I could honestly say that I just can't buy in on quite yet. But
Okay.
in no particular order here, LA Knight, dig LA Knight. I like
Yeah.
LA Knight. I like Jimmy Uso more than Jay Uso on the mic for sure.
Like it.
I
Yeah.
can't. I cringe when I hear Jay Uso on the mic. There's
I
something
have a little
about
bit of it. Yeah.
his patter, his cadence. Just something off with Jay. I don't understand it, but yet he's the one
Mhm.
eating and winning the championship. But
Yeah.
um, you know, earlier I mentioned Finn Balor. Um,
Mm,
we can come back to him, but
mhm,
I genuinely have enjoyed the Judgment Day as a faction.
mm,
I do enjoy
mhm,
it. There's a little comedy in there, a little ha ha, but also
mhm.
some badass wrestling. You know, I like Finn and JD when they won the tag team championship.
They're
You
fantastic.
know, like those
I
guys
love
are high, those
how.
guys are high energy movers, but everything looks
Mhm.
real and snug. You know.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure, for sure, for sure,
Yeah. So, and I'm missing some, I'm sure.
for sure.
But then some that I'm just like, okay.
Hmm.
Rusev,
Okay,
I haven't been
gotcha,
able to get into
gotcha.
him. Jay
Hmm.
Uso, you know.
Hmm.
Who else am I not really buying? Um, I know that sounds weird, but to go back to putting wrestlers over
Hmm.
as a whole, there are some times, Jacob, where either a Monday Night Raw or a PLE where the girls steal the show, in my
Oh,
book.
100%, 100%.
I'm so back in the '80s, that kind of wrestling is so not anymore.
Mm,
Anyone that thinks that the lady wrestling is like the cheeseball shit that used to be, it is not.
mm.
So I'm a huge Rhea Ripley. I think I'm not alone on that.
Oh, she's
I
fantastic.
love
Yeah, I
I
like
love
her.
Ripley, and
Mm,
and listen, I can't think of anyone else. Oh, I like Becky Lynch. I think she's a great heel. I think
mhm.
she's funny.
She's
You know,
hilarious. Well,
she's
and the
funny.
thing is too, like, I wish she would have been around for the man run, like when she was just. You want to talk about like a female Stone Cold? Like I would say Becky Lynch really
Yeah.
encapsulated that. And as a talker, like I really don't know of many of them that I would almost put on par with a lot
Hmm.
of the guy best talkers as well. And I think Becky's one of those where she just it's
Yeah.
believable,
Yeah.
And if somebody gets to dig in on her, she's going to sit there and she's going to go, well, okay, well let me pull out my ace that I have up my
Yeah.
sleeve. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
there's a classic chicken shit heel creeps out.
Mm,
I think it's great. Now
for sure.
I thought of two factions that I probably dislike the most.
Mm,
That I just cannot get into. Granted, it's on SmackDown, so I'm not watching. You know, I don't watch their highlights. I'll pass over their highlights because I don't give a shit. And
right.
that is the what is it? The MFTs and the six,
Yeah, the Wyatt Six.
the
Yeah.
Wyatt six.
It's so
Man,
sad to me
man,
because like,
I can't get into. I like Solo. I think
mhm,
he's a good on the mic and he's a great wrestler, but it's the
for
buffoons
sure.
behind him that it just doesn't make sense. Where
It's it's
when the vision was being built, I bought in. This other faction
mhm.
over there, not so much.
It's just like, and what sucks too is like the Wyatt Six really. I feel like they both the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. I think they had so much potential, and like even like the MFTs, Tamatonga when he first came in had one of the best debuts I've ever seen because really what it was doing was it was Roman versus Solo. It was going to be new bloodline and old bloodline. And so you had Tama Tonga comes in, and his first introduction is he beat the crap out of Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens
Yeah,
all of a sudden just pops up out of the back, his himself, pops out on the stage, but he's just like gushing blood, like all these
and
other sorts of
and
things.
that dude is legit huge. Like
Oh yeah.
I mean
Oh,
he's one of the big men of big men currently. Like I mean he reminds me of like size wise like Kevin Nash. I mean he's huge.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And so like I think to have debuts like that that really have the impact and make the impact is such a big deal. But the issue is you got to go somewhere from there. You got to have a character behind it. You got to have
Yeah.
fuel to go with it. And I'm speaking all of this like I'm in the wrestling business. I'm not, but I'm a fan and I see how these things
Yeah.
these things can play out. Because ultimately, like, this is what we all do. We sit here and we just go, man, I really wish that would have got it. It's not because like I'm sitting here going, oh man, that thing doesn't deserve to get over. It's like, no, I want to like it. I just like
Yeah.
it's not doing it for me.
Yeah. Same here.
So
Same
yeah.
here. There's plenty of moments through Raw where I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I can probably go to the bathroom in this segment, but
Yeah, for sure.
but
Yeah.
but let's get hyper current though, because as we filmed
Mm.
this last night, pretty big deal. Finn Balor's babyface turn, or
Yeah.
Judgment Day turning on him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we've seen the seeds being planted. I think Punk is a good hand in helping Finn Balor change, or
Hmm.
the person, the wrestler,
Hmm.
have a new storyline to go
Hmm.
down. The
Yeah,
the
for sure.
matches the matches with Punk, they did it. They told the story in a way where it made Finn have some dignity, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. And I
know,
liked so how did you feel about the turn? What
I
what
love it.
what was the yeah, for
Well, I
sure.
mean, it was very predictable. You kind of knew once now they're going to all be in the ring. You could see it coming, right? I thought it
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
well done, but
Hmm.
but as a whole, I'm excited. I'm here for babyface Finn Balor. I'm here for it
Oh yeah,
because put him in the ring. I love watching his wrestling.
he's
So
amazing.
and I think he's good on the mic. So I'm here for it. Let's see where this
Mm.
goes.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be good, and I'm excited too because like what I'm seeing as well, to I guess parallel it with what we were talking about with Penta, Penta being in the IC scene, right? Dom's now got a vendetta against Penta because that's his championship. Finn Balor now has a problem with Dom, so therefore he really wants to prove himself, get a championship. So now you've got Finn and Dom in the IC picture. You've
Yeah.
got the El Grande Americanos, both of them, whoever they might be. I have no idea. They're
Well,
in the picture.
all the we'll call the dirt channels, not dirt sheets, the dirt channels
Yeah.
have definitely identified who they are. I mean, you know who the actual wrestlers are underneath the masks, right?
Oh, that's just pure speculation,
Oh no, that's absolutely that's and I'm forgetting their names right now.
No,
Anyway,
yeah,
but
it's just Chad
yeah,
Gable and Ludwig Kaiser, yeah.
yeah, Ludwig
But it's
Kaiser,
fun.
yeah,
It's funny though because I mean, I met a guy. I just want to shout out because I went to Raw in Memphis a couple weeks ago, and
yeah,
I met these guys named Mike and Mike. Those were literally their names, were Mike and Mike, and we so shout out to Mike and Mike if you're watching this. We were just sitting there going, man, I don't really think that can be Chad Gable. I mean, he's got a beard. Chad Gable doesn't have a beard.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Just
yeah.
getting really
Well,
like getting stupid about it.
and
Yeah.
now I'm glad they're leaning in on the joke because now they're letting Chad Gable speak, and
Yeah.
obviously, making it. He's not even trying to speak in Spanish with an accent, nothing. So I
Yeah.
think it's hilarious. And again, I could watch him and Kaiser wrestle. I think they're both great,
They're
but
both brilliant.
Danhausen has his hand in that because he cursed the original El Grande Americano,
Uh-huh.
and then who comes out to face Penta, and Penta's first defense of defending the
Yeah.
title was the Kaiser version.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
For
where
sure.
what happened to the original guy? He got cursed, and did he just spontaneously combust back there? What happened?
Well, it was funny too because you could see it in the background after he cursed him and he disappeared. The two other Americanos were in the background and they were like tiptoeing like cartoon villains, like right behind him, ready to I felt
Yeah,
like they were gonna like whack him with a hammer or something, like just something stupid.
yeah.
But that was
I,
great. Yeah.
I've become more in tune with making sure I look down the hallway in any backstage stuff because
I've been doing a lot
you
of that
see, you
stuff.
see
Yeah.
it all the time. Sometimes you'll see a couple of the girl wrestlers kind of just walk by, and you're like, okay,
That's interesting.
that was obviously by on purpose. None of this stuff is just coincidental. They have a
Yeah.
purpose
For sure.
behind everything.
For sure. For
Um,
sure.
but yeah, we'll see what happens with one Finn Balor.
Yeah,
Um,
man. I
yeah,
think honestly, like what's been so cool to me about, I mean, there's obviously stories And like I said, with having like Mike and Mike there, we know that there this, I always make the joke when I'm at the shows now, just because I think it's really stupid and funny to say. I just go, it's almost like it's planned or something, like,
Hmm.
I,
Hmm.
I, I just sit there and just matter of factly say that, and inevitably that usually gets a laugh out of whoever I'm sitting with. But it's just like, we all know that, but it's funny to me with storylines that feel, as we were talking about with Punk. I'll be honest with you, the main event, night two of WrestleMania, has my two favorites that are there because they're real and I buy every word that they say. Roman and Punk are two of my favorite
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
For you growing up in an era where it was kayfabe was so protected, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it was
Hmm.
so kind of under wraps, is it almost uncomfortable or weird that the backstage stuff is now so prevalent?
Yeah.
Or do you think that almost is a greater tool that they can use in their storylines?
Well, I think after, again, like I said earlier, 10 to 13 years of watching any damn documentary I can get my hands on, you know, I'm just fascinated with all the facets of this business, So,
Mm,
it's not like the magician revealed the trick for me. I love it. And if it's the wrestling is good, I get sucked in just like anyone else. When it's good, it's good. And I can suspend disbelief and just enjoy it. Right. So,
mm.
with that said, I think we can talk, bring in the Unreal series,
Ooh, yeah.
because at first I was like, well, are they going to be, how close to current are they? Like, are they going to spoil anything? And
Mm,
so far, I don't feel like anything's been spoiled. And I do like how they go back a year or whatever, and they're
mhm,
working through the PLEs, which I think is cool.
mm.
And I'm all in. I've watched both seasons like 3 times, binged it all. I like I said, I can't get the the fandom of the behind the scenes stuff more. I can't get enough of it. And
Mhm.
seeing how Gorilla works, because now that to me, that's what makes the Unreal series most fascinating. Is more than ever you're seeing Bruce Pritchard, Triple H, what's his nuts,
There's Michael Hayes.
Michael B.
There's
Hayes. Just
yeah.
seeing the producers and how they produce a match is
Mm,
fascinating to me.
mhm.
The where I feel like it's bad is those moments where they've made themselves look like idiots. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
I mean
and
they made Road Dogg look like shit.
mm,
They we all know the
mhm.
Chelsea Green thing with Michael Hayes. You know what I'm
Jeez, yeah.
saying?
Well, and it's
But
crazy to me
yeah,
too. Yeah,
or
because
or
like
is or is some of this drama on purpose and a new form of kayfabe where it's like a double layered kind of new way to kayfabe us. Maybe
I,
you know what I'm saying. They could
I
easily be doing that to us and us not realizing it too.
oh,
They're putting it's
100%.
a reality show, so they're putting on an act too, right?
Well,
Right.
it's weird to me because like that's one of the things that I hear wrestlers talk about most is just like you guys are the easiest fans to work in the world because everything could be a work. Literally every single thing could be a work.
Yeah.
And any fan can come up and just be like, it's totally not real. Haha, you see, because of this and whatever. But
Yeah.
we do that. I mean, that's what happens when you're a fan and you get obsessed with that stuff,
Yeah.
And
But
one of the things,
I'm sorry.
sorry, you go ahead.
But like when I was young, I was never heartbroken. It's not like there was a moment in wrestling where I was revealed that Santa Claus was fake. Like
Mm,
I just always kind of knew, yeah, like when I'm watching Saturday Superstars every Saturday and it's squash match after squash match and then, jobber, jobber, jobber. And then you have two
mm,
marquee wrestlers facing each other on Saturday television and it's DQ every time.
mm,
But you
every
start,
time.
you just start making it makes sense, and
Yeah,
so, and people would say it's fake. I'm like, I know, but I know, but
yeah. Well, I
so,
always tell people
you
it's
know,
the story. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's just kind of one of those things where you're just like, I mean, I get so obsessed with it, and what I love about it too is you've got in that you've got Chelsea Green. What I do love is I saw something recently where apparently Undertaker made Michael Hayes apologize to her for all of the stuff that they had
Oh,
said in Unreal.
I watched it. I watched
Yeah.
Undertaker's episode with Michael Hayes, and Undertaker in a very Undertaker way addresses it at the end, and he allows Michael to say all of what he wanted to say, and Undertaker was just kind of going along, and then Undertaker found his moment and made his thoughts on Chelsea Green just as clear as Michael Hayes, but making a point to say opposite, like, I disagree with you, Michael Hayes. I think she can be a superstar, and you guys are holding her back and not using her right, basically is what he said.
Well, and 100%. I fully agree. Chelsea, to me, is one of the most entertaining and brilliant. Like, you're never going to get a better economic pick for your company. Because, and I mean that in the sense of this, Chelsea could have 5 minutes. They're going to be the most entertaining 5 minutes of SmackDown. And
she has so much charisma.
Oh my gosh, she's great. She's great.
She's a good wrestler. I always enjoy her wrestling.
Yeah, her wrestling's fantastic.
But how cool though, Undertaker, he's seeing what's going on here, and he feels compelled enough to say, you know what? No, I'm going to protect a wrestler that I have respect for.
That's right.
What better? With all the internet chatter of what Michael Hayes says on Unreal, who backs her up? Who does she get to see online backing her up?
The Undertaker.
That's Undertaker. Hell yeah, she must have been like, you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Well, and it's crazy too. One thing Undertaker, I think, he's made a lot of mention of, is that there's really nobody that works kind of that big style anymore. And I wanted to talk to you about this a little bit when it comes to, because that golden era, you had Andre, you had Taker, you had Giant Gonzalez. All of these, it was, WWE is known as the land of the giants, right?
Yep.
For you, kind of coming back into it, it's almost a small man's game. And really, like, if Drew McIntyre, I mean, no offense to Drew's humongous. I'm 5'10". I'm not here to sit here and, talk on anybody for being small. But at the same time, if Drew's your biggest guy, I remember even when I was like first getting into it, you had Big Show, you had Kane, you had Undertaker, you had Great Khali, you had all these giants. Is it weird now that there's really not that? I mean, you've got a couple, you've got people that are bigger, but even then they're kind of short.
I feel like Drew's definitely a big man. I look at Randy Orton as one. Now we get this Ubafemi, the Rusev, the Celtic Warrior. What's his name?
Sheamus.
Sheamus has not been around for a while, but
that's what I've been wondering. Yeah, weird.
He had his program with Rusev, and I don't know. Maybe he got hurt. I don't know.
He may have.
Yeah. But also you got to remember the era I grew up in was unapologetically the steroid era, and Vince McMahon just wanting muscles. And that ties in with the whole Ultimate Warrior story, and how he came in and was a look, shit wrestler, amazing look, and some charisma on his intro. The way he ran into the building.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just so intense.
Yeah, but like we had this guy named Hercules, and he looked like fucking Hercules. He was just bubbles of muscles, right? Like, but hey, okay, so one of my favorite big guys back in the day was the Big Boss Man. The Big Boss Man could move. Now, when I'm a kid watching this, I'm not thinking, man, he really knows how to move for a big man,
Right.
But in hindsight now, and seeing different old school highlights and clips of Big Boss Man, the dude was extremely agile for his size, and he was kind of underrated. He was an underrated heel. So he was a good big man. Do you remember Akeem? Do you even know who Akeem was? He originally was the one-man gang was what made him famous,
sure.
and then he became what would now be considered a racist character. But you got Hulk. But then look, Macho Man was legendary. Nowadays you have a Seth Rollins who's a top guy. Punk's not huge, right? And so it doesn't bother me as long as the wrestling's good and I can believe in it. I can buy into it. I think Seth Rollins is one of my favorites too, I should mention.
Seth
He's
is
easy to watch.
so brilliant.
He's so fluid, and I was
Mm-hmm.
oh that whole work on the knee was done well. I
The
think.
SummerSlam thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that
yeah.
I remember we were watching that here downstairs, and I popped hard for it because I was sitting here, I was downstairs, and so like he's sitting there holding up the briefcase, and I remember I was talking to everybody in the room. I was just like, he's about to drop those freaking crutches. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just I was. Turns around, and as soon as he stopped, I was like, I knew
There it
it.
was.
I knew it. And he drops the crutches, and the pop that you heard from the audience, I was
Yeah,
like, this is why wrestling is so good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I loved it.
again, the dirt channels had been predicting it for going back and forth. It's a work. It's a work. Then this, that, and the
Yeah,
other.
for sure.
So when his music goes off and he comes out with Paul Heyman, I'm like, oh, okay. I think this is going to be obviously when he reveals. But when he was like, yeah, of course they get the camera close to him so you can hear what he's saying when watching it on television. And he's like, you just wait, you just wait, you just wait. And for a hot second, dude, I thought,
It made
this
you buy
is
into,
this is where the doubt creeps in. That's what makes wrestling so great. And I'm thinking, well, maybe he is hurt, and they at the very least showed us him. They
are setting it up. Yeah, of course.
they made him come out so we can see the seed being planted again. But and he turns around, they're walking away. I'm still buying into that. It's real until he stops. When he stops, I'm like, oh, here we go. And sure enough, he drops
the crutches.
And a perfect time with the music. That was obvious. That was by design. You could tell he timed it just right.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, and I thought it was cool. I was there for. I felt bad for Punk. He was champion for 90 seconds or 2 minutes.
Yeah, but that being said, like I think at the time, if I obviously I'm not in the writers' room and I don't know what they were thinking, but my guess would have been that they would have paid that off at the next WrestleMania. It would have been Seth and Punk, and then Punk probably would have won in the main event of WrestleMania, the world title. But man, like I even like in the Unreal documentary, going back to that, with anything with Punk, because it is so reality based, you never see Rollins and Punk and Gorilla at the same time on Unreal. You'll never see it even once. Like stuff like that. I think protecting just little things like that is what makes those stories like. And that's another thing with that being so, it's a reality show. This is actually what happened. I'm like, yeah, but it's what they wanted you to see. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like they're only going to give us what they feel will tell a good story, and they could be working us within the reality of it too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But you're right. When you see the heel and babyface just whoop each other's asses, and then you see them hugging it and thanking each other in Gorilla,
the back.
is different. Like we're not used to that. But I can still buy in and get suspended. My disbelief can still get drifted away like I'm a little kid. It's great.
I love it.
I'm like a child falling in love with wrestling all over again. It's fascinating to watch. But yeah, man, look, let's do this more often, please.
Absolutely.
Now that it's on Zoom, and I'm making this production as easy as possible too, because it's a hobby at this point. But I feel like when I can start interviewing wrestlers is when it's going to get fun.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
And work my way all the way up to getting Danhausen on the show.
Yeah, that'll be amazing, and we can both tell them how much of fanhausens that we are.
We are fanhausens for sure.
We are fanhausens. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Man, did we leave anything? Well, of course we left tons on the plate. There's so much to talk about.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's
an infinite world, and
infinite.
It's the beauty of it, because like it's funny because I relate to you as well. Like I just got back into wrestling. Gosh, this has probably been 5 years now. It was when Punk came back to AEW. That's when I was like, I'm going to start watching WWE and AEW again. And so because of that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's just so much here. And so that was right when the Bloodline stuff was happening, like at the peak of, Cody Rhodes came back to WrestleMania 38. What? and he's
Yeah.
got his gimmick from AEW. That's freaking crazy. This should never happen,
Yeah.
And then you've
Yeah.
got, yeah, there's just so much there. And so I think that's why I've really wanted to continue to get back into this, because like you've got that heart for it, and I've got that same drive, just because like
Yeah.
it's the bug that we never want to get rid of, that we never want to, we don't ever want to stop catching, and that's the beauty of
Yeah.
what pro wrestling really is.
Exactly. Because even when it's
Mhm.
bad, sometimes the good is always around the corner. Something's always,
That's exactly right. Yeah,
and following
you're on the
Dan,
ups.
yeah, and researching Danhausen, if you will,
Mhm.
because I watched a great interview with him and Chris Van Vliet, where
Yeah.
he's not in character, so you get to
Out
know
in
the real
character,
guy,
yeah.
which I loved. And he's like, I'm not for everybody. Wrestling is a buffet, and
Mhm.
you can go over here and have as much of this as you want, and not touch this over here.
For sure.
This is what it is. But
Mhm.
well, good deal. Look, y'all, grappling with wrestling. I get the, I purposely did it so it's like 3 letters: GWW. Like WCW, WWF. It's GWW, right?
Mhm.
And find us on Facebook. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. We're on Apple, Spotify. I don't even have theme music yet. I don't have
For sure.
I don't have anything for this.
We'll
quite
come up
yet.
with something. But yeah,
We'll
no,
figure it
if you're
out.
watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to get
Mhm.
any of the other sorts of notifications. We're going to keep doing this. Okay.
Yeah,
We would
yeah,
love for you guys to come back with us.
yeah. There's channels out there that they're immediately on the storylines, and they push out 3 videos a week, and
I don't know how
that,
to do it. I really
yeah,
don't.
this channel is going to be some buddies hanging out, talking wrestling, current, past, and everything in between. And then my goal is to break into the wrestling scene, just like the Rhythm Section podcast with the music scene. Okay, let's meet all the wrestlers in town and see if that can grow into maybe we are interviewing some national guys. You never know.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You never
Absolutely.
know. Now that it's on Zoom, the sky's the limit. So
That's exactly right.
Thanks, Jacob, and thank you all for watching.